Paltrocast.
Well,
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, I'm dialing in from Long Island. We will ask questions about that later, but let's talk about the new movie first.
Okay.
If we follow you on Instagram, we know that it's not your typical role per your latest post. So when did you actually film this new, great, acclaimed horror film?
Seriously, gosh, 2016.
Oh,
I know that's like 7 years ago or something.
I have to cut you off right there. That breaks record for all of the junkets I've done. Of the thousands of junkets I've done, I've heard like 5 years. I've never heard 7 years.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing? And I kept saying, when is this coming out? When is it coming out? And you know, did you get a chance to see it yet?
I saw the trailer. The screener link did not come through yet, but that is on the to-do list. How's that?
All right. Well, you're going to be very surprised because this film is definitely a role. I always say, like, now, if you've seen Bill and Ted's and you've seen Better Off Dead and you see me as a princess and even Karen, if you fell in love with me, well, this is definitely going to change your mind. So don't watch it if you don't want to change the image. It is very different. It's more along the lines of a movie I did called Summer Girl. But it is intense, but also very indie. Like, that's what I really enjoyed about the indie aspect, the credits and the whole thing. So when you see it, yes, definitely. If you do watch the film, please contact me on social media and let me know what you think. I mean, and I'm a nice person. I'm a really nice person. In fact, after all the scenes that you see, I'm going to the other actors. Are you okay? Did I hurt you? Are you all right? Like, you know.
Well, isn't that the rule? The nicer the actor on screen, the more likely they're a prima donna and hard to deal with. And the bad guys in the movies are always the nice people in real life.
I found that to be true. I mean, I definitely, I guess it's part of the acting, doing the acting and going for it, you know. I think I like to play characters that are challenging and juicy and have a lot of psychological depth personally. That's what feeds me and is exciting. So I have to say that, like, sometimes people will see me in something and they'll be like, you know, why would you do that? And my feeling was because the character is interesting and because that's just what draws me to acting. It always has.
Shame on you for caring about the craft. What you basically said is, I actually like roles that are interesting, that make me work at this because I wanted to be an actor, as opposed to keep on doing Jell-O commercials your whole life. I don't think that was the goal for long term.
No, and I think that's a really good point. I mean, you know, like, okay, everybody comes to this entertainment business for something different. Some people they think, oh, I want to get rich. I want to be on a series, you know, like that kind of thing, or even commercials, making money, you know, like, look, I mean, you got to make a living and it's good. And certainly, you know, an actor should do everything. To me, like, if you're an actor, do voiceover, do commercials, do everything, because first of all, you'll learn so much and you really can call yourself an actor. Theater, film, television, everything, you know. Real actors don't limit themselves. They do it. They work, or try to work and audition for everything. But I think that sometimes also I've been very fortunate that I haven't been pigeonholed. So, like, sometimes people
not at all.
are only right. Some people just do horror. They just do comedy. That could have to do with their management. That could be the way that they're being sold. I don't think a lot of actors are as limited. Personally, but I'm I'm many things. Like, that, to me, that's what acting is. So I never even thought twice about trying different characters because that's what I enjoy. But I think you also have to show it. So sometimes people, like, they'll do comedy and then they get pigeonholed, and then it takes a while for people to show another image. For me, the goal is surprise the audience. That is, to me, what it is. So if you follow me, then you like to be surprised. That would be
and you do that with Waking Nightmare. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
It just took 7 years for us to be surprised.
Yep. Yeah. It's a long time.
So as I called that up top, dialing in from Long Island, and is Wikipedia true, telling the truth that you're from Plainview?
Yes. I am. So when you say Long Island, I'm like, where are you? Where are you?
Small world thing. My brother's the choir teacher at Plainview JFK. Was that your school, or you went to the other one, Plainview?
I went to Plainview Old Bethpage High School, which was the other school. But, I was in the choir, and I sang harmony, and I did madrigals, and I did the school musical. I mean, I did all that. Like, that was a great experience that really solidified a lot of things for me as an actress. I mean, the more you do it, and you do it in school, that's honestly, if you're doing stuff in school, that is the tough audience. That is, your peers are the toughest. So yeah, if you got guts, so keep it going, because if you can do that, you can do anything.
Well, a lot of notable people come from Plainview, but they all seem to have made it by leaving Long Island. So, for example, Stacy Weidlitz, I think that's how you say his name. He wrote the Patrick Swayze song from Dirty Dancing, and he's now this huge photographer, the drummer of Winger, the film director Mark Lawrence. Were you in high school with any other notable people?
A good question. No, I know that John Savage was the only other actor that came from my school, and I have always wanted to meet him, because I thought, how weird is that we've never crossed paths? Our paths have been like so close, and then so hopefully I'll meet him at a convention once, because I would love to meet him, because that's such a odd thing, to come from that town. I know that when I went, it's a regular public school. So at the time in the 80s or 70s, people had no idea how to deal with an actor missing school. Like, you miss school for an audition, like what?
Yeah.
That was still considered unusual. But I think today probably it's a little bit maybe more common, because I don't know, it just seems like more people are into entertainment now, or have the opportunity to be.
For sure. And the last weird Plainview thing here is the bad guy world champion in one of the big wrestling companies is from Plainview, the guy who has the championship belt. And largely his gimmick is rooted around that he's a rich kid from Plainview. So it's seen on 100 countries around the world. And
wow.
Yeah. So,
that's so cool. Yeah, Plainview wasn't rich. No, like Melville, or Huntington, or I mean, as far as I remember, Plainview was like the McDonald's down the street, and that's like
every Long Island town has to have its neighboring towns to shake a fist at. Here in Long Beach, we shake our fist at Atlantic Beach. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's very fun. It's very like a territorial kind of, but at the same time, gosh, I have really fond memories of Long Island. And in fact, I'm actually really trying to get into a Long Island Comic-Con. I think there's one at Nassau County, and they're trying to get me in. So I was supposed to go the year of the pandemic, and then the pandemic stopped it. So I want to go. Here's what I want to do. I want to go to Long Island. I want to do a convention, and then I want to visit the Amityville house. So
because you've only been in like 3 Amityville related movies, right?
Seriously, and never been to the actual house. So,
well, there you go. 3 quick questions, and then I'll let you go. The first one is: are we allowed to know what movie is next from you, or is it one of those? Well, due to SAG and AFTRA, I'm not allowed to say, and keep checking my Instagram.
Yeah, I just, by the way, went to my SAG protest. So I did my deal there and hope to do more. And the only reason I can talk about this now is because it's an indie, and it is going to be released on an indie platform.
Yeah.
VOD. So that's a different thing. Nobody can do any publicity right now. And I have a short that's coming out in November, but that's not going to be here. That's going to be in the UK. So, and that's probably only going to be also shown in film festivals. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think this is the latest. I mean, I have other things I'm working on. I have a project I'm working on next week. I have to go to Albany, New York to shoot, which is hilarious.
Is that an American High related thing, or are there now multiple companies up there in Albany?
I don't know. I think this might be I didn't even know that. I think this is just an indie thing, but that's interesting. I'll keep my eye on it. I didn't know that Albany is now the hub. So
it is that director Jeremy Garlick turned a high school into a film studio. So check that out while you're up there. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but You got the Albany thing, you got the UK short that's doing the festivals, etc. Anything that you're doing in collaboration with your spouse, who is also a prolific entertainment
Thank
person?
you. Ray DeLaurentis. He wrote for, oh my gosh, Scooby-Doo, Fairly Odd Parents, Harry and the Hendersons. He wrote for St. Elsewhere originally. He's done thousands and thousands of projects. He's worked on Ice Age and a lot of those movies, Night of the Museum. And actually, we are doing more teaching together. So we're working with kids and students, and I teach on the side. So that's what I do. I work with kids, and I love it. I love kids, and my kids are grown up, so that gives me a chance to. Unlike this movie, I'm a very possessive mom, but the others, I work with kids, and I love it.
There you go. The last question, selfish question here: have you ever been to Long Beach, this town right here, in your Long Island upbringing?
You know, I think once I went there, but it was only for the day. So I didn't get a chance to explore, but it is a nice area. I mean, the beach is nice, right? I don't know. The town is okay. I don't know.
Town is great. There's a kind of a hidden comedy club up right here. But did you just defect from the North Shore, where you admitted that our beaches are fine, even though they don't have rocks all over them that cut your feet?
Right, like Jones Beach, yeah. Jones Beach is where I used to go. Okay, so I don't know about your beach. I didn't venture into that beach, but you know what? And then it's like everyone thinks Long Island is Montauk, and it's not.
It's not.
So it's definitely not. So and you know, I haven't been there so long. It's hard to tell what has changed, but I do remember those rocky beaches. So you know, but people go. They go no matter what. It's the beach.
Exactly. Well, hey, in closing, Diane, thank you for the many years of great entertainment. Your pronunciation of Dodger Stadium gets said very often in this household by my wife. So thank you for that as well. And I'm looking.
Stadium. All right, you like it. Remember, Dodgers. It is the Brooklyn Dodgers. Remember this, okay? Not the Los Angeles. No.
All these years later, perfect. And really looking forward to whatever's to come from you, whether it's comedy, horror, etc. And you know, thank you for being you all these years later.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you for remembering my French and keeping it alive. And say hello to your wife.
Paltrocast.